So that was eventful. Turned up to my hotel, which was called the Relax Inn, only for the guy I've booked through Expedia. I paid like £65 for the room. And when I get there, he was like, no, on a Friday night, it's $75. I don't know what he was saying. It was a higher price on a Friday night. And also they've taken the money, like I paid in advance and they've taken the money already for this booking, for this Friday night. And then he just kept on saying to me, no, you need to talk to booking.com, talk to booking.com. Booking, that was actually his catchphrase. To the point where, you know, when something happens, you think, is this actually happening? Like, can you not process that I've already paid? His English wasn't the best, but like, it's not uncommon for people to pay before they arrive. And also they've accepted, they said, you've already accepted the booking. You went, no, I don't have that room, I only have this room. I went, okay, well if you've only got that room, then that room's fine. Then, as I'm trying to argue this, someone next to me, who's just come in mid-argument with this, he goes, well I'll take a room. And he serves him, and as I walk out to try and call Expedia just to get... At this point, I didn't want to stay there anymore. I just want to talk to Expedia and for them to... Because Expedia will refund me, as long as I can prove. Because it's clear, like, I've paid Expedia for that service. They've not given me that service. It's not as if I've not turned up. I've got pictures to prove I turned up, videos, everything. So it's a slam dunk for getting a refund for... that bit's not the problem. But anyway, by the time I was about to take a picture, he literally, literally like something you'd find in a cartoon. He then he disappeared and then put a sign in the window that says, no rooms, no vacancies. And I was like, ugh. Anyway, so frustrating. Try and find another hotel, drive down the road, and then there's just no one at this. It's a big Wyndham. Not Hilton. It was a posher hotel, and so that was a £60-70 hotel. I've now paid £109 for a Motel 6 hotel, and the room is grim. I don't care, it's a bed. I'm going to be here for probably about 7 hours before I start heading off to the park tomorrow. I just don't care. I just wanted to get somewhere to sleep for tonight and also have a shower and brave the bathroom. This isn't the Relax Inn, which is complete opposite to what you were going to get if you booked there. I'm more bothered. The thing that's why it's not the hotel's why it's now that I'm going to have a fight with Expedia and just prove everything. If Expedia say no, then I'm just going to go to a credit card company, because at the end of the day, Expedia have not fulfilled what I've paid for. Not directly Expedia's fault, but Expedia can't allow... It's as if Expedia had sold this hotel, and this guy, it was the first time this guy had ever heard of Expedia or heard of anyone booking through Expedia. But the hotel must list and show their availability on that website. They control it. Expedia doesn't just make it up. So anyway, so I'm in the hotel. I haven't been filming the hotels because they're all pretty basic. Yeah, because I just go for the cheapest ones. But I'm going to stick with like the brand names. Because even Motel 6, the rooms aren't brilliant, but I knew if I booked there, I've never had a problem with them. I never turned up there before. I've been turned up, not with Motel 6. Guy down on the reception desk was polite, checked me in extremely quickly actually. I've actually booked this room through Expedia as well. So they'll see that I've had to book another room for the same night under the same name, which is further proof that they didn't give me what I wanted at the... No, not what I wanted, what I paid for. Good morning, welcome to a new video from my cell in the Motel 6. It's not, this is by far the worst one, but it was booked in emergency. Update on that, I got through to Expedia, which is not the easiest thing to do. But once I was through to them, they were brilliant, to be fair. Now I am a loyal customer to it, so I use Expedia a lot for stuff. So I think that helps when they're trying to help you. Basically, they tried to ring the hotel, and the hotel started just shouting at them. In fact, I've got this message from Expedia, I took a photo of it, where basically it's me and the person from Expedia are laughing at how bad the hotel was. And then he got someone to call me, and they were trying to get me another hotel. And I said, well, I've already booked another hotel, and I've had to pay an extra 50 quid for the privilege of that. Long story short, they said, I'll have to wait till 9 AM to get a refund, and it's like, right, if that's what you have to do, to wait for the manager, fine, that's fine. 10 minutes later, they didn't have to do that, they just refunded me anyway. I think because they could see the organisation on the hotel's part was awful. And I said, you know, within the day that I've got to pay an extra £50, and they said, well, we'll just give you a £75 voucher for the hassle you've been through, and so you can use that in the future, which I'll use because I use Expedia all the time. So, fine, all sorted. I'm very happy. Expedia were brilliant. There's a lot of times, particularly during the pandemic, when they weren't brilliant. They were brilliant yesterday. It's just on their live chat, it's a bit of a faff with their virtual assistant, which isn't a live chat. But if you press the right buttons, it does say, do you want to contact an agent? And once you do that, they're always pretty helpful. So today I went to Dorney Park. I just realised it opens an hour earlier than I thought it did. It's open from 10 AM till 10 PM today. So I'm gonna head there now. It's a Saturday, it's gonna be a busy day. I'm not gonna buy fast lane. There's only 7 coasters there, but from 10 AM to 10 PM, there's plenty of time. I'm just gonna save a bit of money today and wait out the waits. No filming on ride or anything like that to Cedar Fair, but I've got a premium season pass, which gets me into all the parks. I've also got the drink plan. Now I've not got the bottle, I've just got a plan where you can just go and get a cup drink, because the bottles become a bit annoying, and then you have to start storing them in lockers and all that sort of stuff. So that's why I've gone for the drink plan. It'd be nice to have the bottle, but it's just more of a faff thing to carry around all day. So hotel all done, hotel all sorted. I cannot wait to get out of this hotel, which is a shame because Motel 6, like, I know it's not, obviously it's not premium brand, but I never really had a bad room with them until this one. Whereas this one has, you know, smoke detectors missing and lights missing and stuff. Right, so I'll pick this up when I'm outside of Dorney Park. I mean, every time you come to a US park, the skylines are always pretty amazing, but this one is in kind of a dip, in a valley. It's taken about just over an hour to get here, and I'm gonna get there just as it's open. It'll be just open as I go in, I think. But yeah, expecting a busy one today. I've never watched any videos from Dorney Park whatsoever, so I have no idea what to expect. Obviously I've had a look at what coasters are here. There's a Morgan Hyper coaster. Never done a Morgan Hyper coaster before, but I'm told they're pretty good. You got a Woody, Intamin Impulse by the looks of it, same as the one that used to be at Cedar Point. Got an inverted coaster to the far side, and then it looks like a B&M Flawless, I think. I will say this, to get in off the road and to get through the car park barriers, I do like the barriers being in the morning because it means your parking's done then for the day. However, we've just gone from, it's hard to show because it's behind, but it was 6 lanes down to 1 lane after after where you pay for parking, which just meant it was chaos. It's just been chaos for the last 15 minutes trying to get in. Yeah, I don't know the history of this park, but I imagine they bought the park because it doesn't feel very Cedar Fair-y, if that makes sense. Yeah, you see it's like 6 toll plazas, and then they all just have to all fight to get in. It's gonna be a busy day, so we're gonna start with, looks like some sort of parade floats over here. I'm gonna go straight towards the Mara Wild Mouse, because that gets one of the biggest queues, if I looked at q-times.com, has all the data, and last Saturday that had like hour queue for a lot of the day. If I'm queuing an hour, I want at least, the B&M or something. I don't want a wild mouse. I'm going to get that out of the way first, hopefully, because we won't have a massive queue in the morning. I did get a bit lucky because the parking booth were at the back, and then they just opened up the front row on this side, just as I came up to it. So, as much as I was moaning before, I did get a bit lucky there. Right, let's get to the wild mouse. I've got to get my season pass. $250 for the season pass, and $35 for the season drink, because I'm going to a few parks, so and you can use it across the different parks. It is warm, I need to put some sun cream on, but I want to get in a queue and then I'll just do it then. Okay, so they do your season passes at the gate, which I absolutely, it's one of the best things about America, and there's a lot of people which doesn't make much sense. Oh, look at this. Oh, they're suspending. That's very odd. They have to stop the rides to do a parade. And one of the best things about America is the season pass pickup is always brilliant. Like, best way of doing it. Okay, I cursed. I cursed that. It took quite a while to actually get in. At least, 3 minutes. She had to take my name and type it all in. I just don't understand that. I've given you all my information, and then she tried to take my phone number, and it wouldn't accept it because it's a UK number and all that sort of stuff. But I'm in now. I've got my pass. The Wild Mouse is literally one of the first coaches you come to, so I'm worried already that the queue might be a little bit big, but we'll tick it off. I've got from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. here. I'm not going to stay here until that time. I'd be amazed if there was enough to keep busy. Plus the queues are quite big, I suppose. It looks great though. It looks absolutely great. Also, she's waiting for Cedar Fair parks and Six Flags parks, because it's in sort of like the tree line. It looks like there's quite a bit of shade around the park, which I'm going to need. There's the Grand Carnival, which I did see last year at King's Island. Not last year, but a few years ago at King's Island. So I imagine that's what the floats are for, and the parade and stuff. But yeah, it looks great. Right, first queue of the day will be for the Wild Mouse, and the queue is only about 10 people. Unless that's the fast lane. No, looks like that's it. So in the morning I'm gonna rush around a bit and get a few done, because I imagine it's gonna get busier and busier and busier. So I might as well tick a few off. Well, the Wild Mouse done. It rode exactly like a Wild Mouse. Very sharp brakes. The queue was tiny. It was about 4 cars. I had a quick look online and it says a 45-minute queue. It ended up being about 20 minutes just because of fast lane and the ultimate priority. It's really difficult because obviously on days like when I come on these trips to America and I'm only here for one day, there's one person like, is that a team member? Looks like it is. No, that's a bad job first thing. I'm telling you that it's that one, you won't really care. I'm trying to get to Tomahawk because that had the next biggest queue. But it's not on there at all. So, anyone's guess. I think it was down this way. So the fast lane But obviously, I think if you paid that much for it, because it's expensive, you should be prioritised quite heavily. But then on a on any wild mouse, or anything with a really small throughput, you know. Also, she was loading one person. There's a rule on there for maximum 2 adults per car, but she was loading. There's one person in front of me, and then I said, I'm a single rider too. Do you want me to? And said, no, please wait. And then immediately after that, she then apologised for making me wait. I don't know, it's very odd. Ooh, let's see if we can get one of my drinks actually here whilst I'm walking down. Oh no, this opens at 11 AM, it's not open yet. Right, let's go and try and find the wooden coaster. It's very well hidden, which suggests it isn't very tall. Just through there. Hopefully it's going to be all through the woods and stuff. The look of the park is amazing. Really enjoying it. In fact, let's see if the kids credit is through here and whether you need a child to go on it. And what they do tend to have in these Snoopy areas is a lot of rides. I think it gets voted like the best, not in this park, but the best area for kids in the world. But theming wise, it's pretty basic. However, there's normally a very wide selection of rides. Oh, the coaster's over here. So I might do this just whilst it's quiet, so I don't have to wait for it. But I don't know if I'm allowed on without a child, so we'll see. Well, I allowed to put money on it that they wouldn't have let me on. I had to wait one try and I couldn't really get the guy's attention, but he didn't care. And there's nothing on the signs to say that you had to have an adult. It did say like you have to be this side or this side, and it looked like it said and be with a child. So I'm not sure. But I've got it on anyway. I didn't expect it. Oh, Cedar Fair, other than Cedar Point, where they give you a little tag as a coaster enthusiast to go and get the credit. I don't think any other parks allow you to do that, so got it now anyway. So that Louis Spence cliff, isn't it? I've done it now. He's going to stop me. Right, now I'm going to find the woody coaster, because later on I imagine that'll get particularly busy. The small kids one. The Morgan Hyper looks amazing. I'm really liking the feel of this. I also like just being in the shade. There's a lot of shade here. It's a big deal. Oh my god, they've got a demon drop. So this is what they have at Movie Park. It's a sort of drop tower thing. Now, if this is open, I might go and give this a go now, because again, it only takes 4 people at a time. I had no idea this was here. I will get to the wooden coaster eventually. I don't know if it's... This is the joy of not knowing somewhere, I suppose, isn't it? They are slightly terrifying, these things. I've literally just booked to go to Italy. Let's see if it's operational. Oh, there's people there. There's staff members there. I don't know how to get to it. It seems like a dead end. This is for the log flume? Yeah, this is for the log flume, so... Also, since it's only open until 7 PM, the log flume, interestingly. Right, let's see if I can get on the demon drop. I just noticed this triple tower. Did it used to be 3? There's no innards for the right one. It's just an empty chamber. That's strange. Because they do them as like a double. I've been somewhere where it is a double, I think. Ah, okay. So it opens at noon. Not a huge fan of that. But I'm excited to give it a go because I've never done one before. Right, I am going to go towards the wooden coaster now. Well, Thunderhawk, 98 years old apparently. Apparently it was like an out and back, and then they changed it to add like a figure 8 in the middle, which is the bit on the left down here, a bit under the trees. It was alright, one particularly rough bit, but other than that, it was alright. The hills are quite gentle, there's no air time to speak of. Quite a few trims on there, I did notice. So next we're going to head to I don't know if is it a hyper, if it's, I don't know how tall it is. I know it's made by Morgan, which I've never done one of them before, so. And then we'll head over to the Intamin Impulse Coaster. Again, it looks like this is walk on. So we've just gone through the hottest weather in the UK. There is also a heat wave here at the moment. In my head, I'm like, this is just how it always is. It's always this warm. But I think that is putting people off. I'm not saying it won't get busier later, because it obviously will. And this is right at the far end of the park, but... Oh, I've come the wrong way. Yeah, I'm amazed at how quiet it is. And also a lot of people will be probably going to the water park and then filter into the main park later. This is a big queue not to be standing in, which I'm very grateful for. I decided to go in the front row. And these funny hills on the way back look insane. Particularly this one, close to the station. We've also got obviously some sort of haunted house down here as well for Halloween.
So you're right, I'm still for it. You're going on a 205-foot drop, so make some noise.
That is a trip highlight. The airtime. I went on the front row for the first ride, we went straight back on it. Plus there's no queue. We did that 3 or 4 times. Airtime machine. I've never heard anyone say anything about it, not watched the POV of it. They weren't pushing down the lap bars. It was the seatbelt keeping me in. I never touched the lap bar, it was always the seatbelt. And even the seatbelt had quite a lot of give to it. First, and it's silky smooth. Everything in your head tells you it's the big one. That's how rough it's going to be. And it's not. It is silky, silky, silky smooth. Trains are also not. They look the same, but they're not the same trains. Not too sure who makes them, but there's a lot of room in there. Like I was on with somebody else, and there's nowhere near you type thing. There's lots of space. That was just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It was worth a visit to the park alone to come and do that. It's constant, every hill. And then the last 2 hills, which have really tight angles up and down for what is a 6-car train. It's really high up there on my list of rides because it reminded me of Boulder. It's exactly the same as Boulder, just every hill. Right, how you see, every hill. And it took me by surprise as well, which is nice. I'm going to try a back row now, or second to back row, if the back row is not free. Oh, and it being walk on does help a lot. So, just had some back-to-back rides without even leaving the seat at the back of the train. They allow re-rides here. Didn't think any Cedar Fair or Six Flags Park did that, so maybe it's just the particularly big ones that can't do it. But at the back, I mean, it's equally as good, but it's a little bit different. But I wouldn't want to go in the middle. I imagine the middle will be a little bit watered down, but front or back, you're gonna have a lovely time. I'm gonna give the Intamin Impulse a go now. Grab a drink, then do Demon Drop. So this is a KMG afterburner. You can tell from the seat. It's a pretty. Maybe you see one of these. It's a pretty tight fit. I've just started to be able to get on them again, but not comfortably. It does hurt to get on there. So I tend to still give them a swerve. Last one I did was at Blackheath Fun Fair, and it hurt whilst I was on there, so probably won't give that a go today. This is Possessed, an Intamin launch coaster. Launched to and fro, LSM launch. I liked the one at Cedar Point. Just obviously at Cedar Point, it's never going to win the battle of the coasters. I tend to remember at Cedar Point there's like big gates to stop you like leaning over and stuff. Oh, there's no key for the front. Ow, it's got a massive static shock. I get in static shocks all the time. Might as well go for the front, mightn't I? Yeah, all the air gates here are mag-locked, so they're not air gates, which confuses everyone at every station. And it also means that every time they open them, they've got to go down the entire row and check they're locked again. Very much remind me of the one at Cedar Point. It's okay. It's non-offensive. It's disconcerting when you're at the front and you see the end of a track approaching. And likewise, this is the shadow here. And if you look across the shadow and you're coming up the tower, you can see how much it wobbles. So this is the cup size you get. It's not like, I mean, back in the UK we class that as a medium, I think, or a regular. Oh, looks like there's a little train as well, which is just about to set off. I'm going to wait outside Demon Drop to just go and do it as soon as it opens. So only 4 people at a time. But saying that, I'm amazed. The car park is rammed and cars are still bumper to bumper coming in. But on the park, seems to be alright. Oh my god, they've got a whip. Oh, last time on the whip was at Pleasure Beach. Oh, them years ago. I've got time. I'm going to go on the whip and then I'll make my way over to the drop. This is proper old school whip. Look at this, there's even cup holders in the storage bin. What a good idea. Obviously meant for the bigger cups, but... Alright, I'm going to go over here. Well, this certainly took me back. I mean, it doesn't look like that bad off ride, but you do get, you know, slide from side to side. It is a classic, and yeah, I'd much rather have this than the Dodgems. It does make a racket though. Drink numero 2, and that was literally like 60 minutes. Because I'm gonna have this just chill a little bit now, because in my head it's gonna be a really busy day, and it still might be. The inverted coaster is on. I've literally forgotten the name of it now, but it's on an hour. It's on an hour queue, so I know I've got a big queue coming. So I'm just gonna try and chill a little bit. I'm gonna wait for this to go and get some footage of it whilst I drink this and stand in the shade. The shade is by all means the best part of this park. Cedar Point, Kings Island, they're all very open. But also this park is quite hilly. Another thing to think about. The stop here looks brutal. Right, let's get on it. I've never actually seen these loaded before. They load them 3 at a time. That was a good ride in a sense of I didn't know what to expect being wheeled out. The actual drop itself is absolutely fine, nice and fun actually. And then when you start going onto your back, as soon as you're on your back, it's like you're going through a very slow car crash, and it keeps on happening. You think, oh, it's over now, and then another jolt happens. But I would go on it again. So it wasn't painful. It was just a bit brutal. That stop there is pretty harsh, and this little contraption catches you as you fall backwards. If you look at it as it comes backwards now, it's basically just catching you. It starts to look at that. Oh! So yeah. But it was a good giggle. The drop itself is pretty good actually for how small it is. Yeah, you can just about see it. It's just very nicely presented. It's not very steep, but just kind of, it's like a long, it's like a very drawn out drop. But either way, it looks a bit of a soaker still, so maybe later. Number 3. $35 for the season. How many would you have to drink? Because I'm pretty sure like sodas cost like $3. In fact, it's probably more expensive for the cup than it is for the actual liquid. I don't put too much ice in, but I mean, you need it. Wow, look at this. I did read somewhere that the B&M inverted coaster is filled with sand to reduce noise. I can imagine it's the same with that, because that was almost silent. Minutes slowly down here. Oh, I should be able to get a shot of Logfin down here as well. Bit of a dead end down here actually. Yeah, it's not the best, but you can see it kind of follows the hill up. And it's following the hill down, so it's not a very steep drop, but it's quite a long one. Now this looks like it's not very tall at all, but it's actually down this side. You can just see I can't get any footage from down there, but it dips down now off the cliff side. And there's a couple of corkscrews and stuff. And it's well, it was walk on. I was just waiting for that shot. It's what, one train? Oh, there's some spare seats in this one as well. coaster. The coaster itself, really small, really nice off the edge of the cliff type thing. The operations, you're talking 10 minutes a dispatch. How can we be on the brake run and people haven't been, like, people are still getting off the train in front of you? How's that possible? And now there's like a huge queue. So I don't know if it's been that bad all day, because I walked onto it, unless there's just a sudden wave of people just coming to the park. But so yeah, operation. And I don't want to say operations are bad, because actually everywhere else it's been on fire. So yeah, the coaster itself, pretty good, smooth, no head bashing. Number 4. For the carnival, they've got these food stalls. They've got Germany, France. I can't see many more other than those 2. Obviously before I kind of rushed through here a little bit to get to the Wild Mouse. I'm heading over to the B&M inverted coaster, and this is the biggest queue of the day, so I've not been to this side. I think the water park is down here. Got some dodgems, there's a train on the left. This is their main street area. Oh, I can see a rapids as well. Again, the rapids here in America, they're normally, because of the weather, because it's good weather, they're normally drenchers. You always think it's odd when you get a dodgems and they've got a basically an obstacle in the middle. It's time for Talon. Well, it appears to be walk-on. You can walk straight into the station. So I don't really know why it was saying it was a much longer queue on the app and stuff, but certainly not complaining. I'm just staggered. It's a Saturday. It's the first day of their carnival event today, actually. I saw a poster which said the 23rd of July. I'm just a bit staggered to not having to be queuing for anything. This does look like a custom layout. And it looks like quite a long layout as well, actually. Longer than it first looks. Right, let's go and give it a go. Just excellent. It's solid, it's really smooth, there's no head bashing. It's got some fantastic low to the ground like helixes, this one here towards the end. And the back row, front row. Back row is a little bit more intense, but front row, it's good for the views. The operations on there, same as the other one, same as the other B&M, like 5 minutes to 10 minutes each time. But it makes me sad because the rest of the park I'm absolutely loving. So I've come into the water park because I saw from the roller coaster just how busy, and they'll just get a few shots of how busy it is here. It's my idea of hell. Do you remember when COVID happened and then everyone went to Bournemouth Beach? Well, I'm not going to be here for the festivities later, but there's quite a big stage set up and it looks great. I've not had anything to eat yet, but I do fancy, I've obviously had my Coke Zero, I do fancy a shake. So let's go and see if there's a big queue in here and I might get a shake. And I'm just going to do kind of one last loop around the park, see if there's anything that I want to do again. Probably do the arrow. That's almost offensive. The Morgan Hyper, it's 205 feet, so it is a hyper. Probably do that again, because it's still going around with empty seats. And then, yeah, I think I might make a move early, because I need to get some work done, because the hotel issues I had yesterday means I didn't get some stuff done I needed to do. So I'll do that tonight. There's a Ferris wheel. That's a bit of a dead end up there. Okay, it's 2:30. Got here at 10. There's a lot of flat rides, but once again, it's very much the same flat rides. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think that's a fantastic thing, because it eats up lots of people. I mean, the park is quiet because everyone is in that water park, everyone. I think I'm just going to have a couple more goes on Steel Force. Steel Force? I need to start remembering the names. The only problem with that is it's like the furthest one in the park. Other than that, I'm pretty content with my day. There's no other flat rides that I'm particularly keen on. The park is home to not one but two trains. One right at the top. I mean, pretty much near where the where Talcon is. There's another one down here, this lower level. There's the car rides. There's just rides everywhere. Every nook and cranny, you'll find more rides. And this is the difference between the US and the UK parks. This is the queue to exit the park. I've never seen this before. They take your photo so you can come back in rather than just stamp your hand. I've never seen that before. Yeah, I think it's just taking the photos of everyone. That's mental. That brings me to the end of my day here at Dorney Park. I've got about half an hour drive now to the hotel. The highlight of the day has to be Steel Force. Unexpected. Just all round brilliant. Low light, it's clutching at straws a little bit, and that's the operations on the two B&Ms basically. It's really slow, 5 to 10 minutes per dispatch. But if that's the worst thing. All the staff have been nice, everyone else has been brilliant. Fantastic day. Thank you very much for watching. I don't know how long this vlog will be because obviously there's no on-ride footage. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Look at my hair, let's stick it up. This bit of hair won't go down. I do keep trying, but oh well, end of the video now. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Press the like button and comment down below. The car park now goes off into the distance with how far people are. I mean, I'm pretty happy I'm not. That is literally a 15-minute, 20-minute walk, easily. That's a long way away. Busy day here today. Right, I'll see you in the next video.